Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm visiting an absolutely amazing place. This is St Mary's Church in Kempley, Gloucestershire. It's a Grade 1 listed, redundant Norman church famed for housing the most complete set of Romanesque wall paintings in the whole of Northern Europe. Built in around 1130 by Baron Hugh de Lacy, this architectural time capsule sits in a remote location about a mile north of the modern village of Kempley. The property is owned by English Heritage and is preserved in partnership with the local charity, the Friends of Kempley Churches. It's also famous because it has the oldest timber roof of any building in England. St Mary's probably replaced an earlier Saxon church on this site and retains a simple Saxon layout. With a rectangular chancel and an aisleless nave, the tower blocking this church's west entrance was added in about 1276 during Edward I's wars in Wales. The timber-framed porch dates to the 14th century. Medieval church paintings were used to educate and inspire a congregation who may not have understood the Latin church services. The first artists at St Mary's were working in the newly built church around 1130. Let's head inside and take a closer look. This simple font is not original to the church and was believed to be added in 1913. The church is very small, but it has a really nice atmosphere inside. As I said, it's run by the English Heritage and it actually has a free entry, open daily between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Tree-ring dating has revealed that St Mary's still has its original Norman roof and doors. In the 1990s, dating was carried out on timbers from the church roof, which was hidden above the 17th century ceiling in the nave. This revealed that St Mary's roof was built in the early 12th century, making it the earliest and most complete Norman timber roof known in Britain. This impressive wall painting, believed to be made in the 15th century, is called the Wheel of Life, and it represents the 10 ages of man. The painting shows, clockwise from bottom left, a woman seated with a child, a boy, a youth, a young man on a white horse, a king on his throne, an elderly man, a blind old man guided by a boy, an old man in his bed, a coffin, and finally a tomb. As you can see, it's very faded and impossible to see yourself, but this is the official description by the English Heritage. The nave itself is covered in different wall paintings, but inside the chancel is where you'll find the really amazing ones. Just take a look at how beautiful the chancel arch is, with its round-headed shape and geometric carvings, a typical Romanesque Norman style that's found here in England. On the south wall, there's more paintings, but they're really hard to decipher. So let me know in the comments what you think these are. As you walk inside the chancel, it feels almost magical. It's one of the best chancels I've ever been inside, and I can only imagine how beautiful and vibrant it would have been originally. So we'll take a closer look at some of these paintings. This is 6 of the 12 disciples. The other 6 are the opposite side. On the ceiling itself, the central figure is called the Apocalypse and it's Christ in Majesty. And there's a lot going on here, so I'll try and pick out a few characters. This is the Virgin Mary. The man with the keys is Peter. There are some seraphims around him. The winged eagle represents John. And then the one behind is the winged ox, and that's Luke. And there's another seraphim behind him. Here we have the winged lion, which is Mark, and then the angel, which is Matthew. We've got the sun and the moon, and then back down to Jesus again. A really amazing ceiling, and in the flesh it looks even better. Here we have the other 6 apostles and the towers of Jerusalem. There's 3 rather nice stained glass windows inside the chancel. I'm not quite sure who made this one, but we have a godlike figure above with the Holy Spirit represented by the dove going down to what looks like Mary, and there's the angel. So I assume this is the Annunciation, and it's from the 1930s, and it's got quite a Masonic feel to that one. This painting is of the Bishop of Hereford. Then we move on to the lovely little east window. Now this is done by Kemp, made in 1876. As some of you know, Kemp is one of my favourite window makers, a really nice one. Then on the other side we have George and the Dragon. This is made in the 1940s. I really like this mixture of the modern windows and the old Romanesque style. When I looked into it, the church actually closed in 1975, and then in 1990 was taken over by English Heritage. On the floor, we have some nice ledger stones. This one is from 1688, so there's a really nice blend of different centuries here inside the church. And this one's from 1735. The pulpit may be as old as the 17th century, Jacobean, so it could be 400 years old. Other experts have said it's from 1913, so the same age as the font that was added. If you ever get the chance to visit this church, I highly recommend it. It is only small, but there's so much here that you can look at, and there's just packed with history. I was really lucky because the day I came, I was the only person here. As I was leaving, about 6 or 7 people just turned up, and there's very limited car park spacing. So, yeah, and there's a few other churches around this area that you can also go and look at the same day. As I said before, it is free to come, but I would always advise just bring some change. There's a little donation box here. I always add a few quid, as these buildings are very expensive to run. And before I went back outside, I had to have one last glance at the chancel. Absolutely beautiful. The graveyard's really nice, kept in a really good condition, and you'll find some very interesting old gravestones here. Also, there's a couple of old ancient yew trees in the graveyard. So quite a nice place just to sit down for a minute and relax. I really hope you enjoyed this video, a fabulous old church. This was actually filmed a couple of weeks ago on my iPhone, and I've only just got around to editing it. I've just invested in a new camera, so I'm hoping to push my channel to the next level, hopefully making much better videos. So you could help me by hitting the like button and subscribing if you haven't already, and that would be greatly appreciated. I look forward to seeing you all on the next one.